On Friday, October 2nd, Universal Studios launched their annual Halloween Horror Nights with the Chiller Igor Awards. The event was hosted by actor Corey Feldman of The Lost Boys. This year's winners included director Rob Zombie and makeup artist Rick Baker. Before the ceremony, the cast of the new Rocky Horror tribute walked the red carpet, and guests answered questions from the press, including Saw 6 actress Denidra Howard and Halloween Horror Nights creative director.
So is this the Wolfman's cane you're carrying?
This is off the original mold from our 1941 movie, The Wolfman. My wife tracked down somebody who had the original mold, and this is actually an anniversary present, believe it or not. My wife's very understanding.
So is that going to be in the remake?
No, that's in that stays locked up in my monstery room all year long, and it only comes out for Halloween Horror Nights.
So is there going to be a Wolfman maze next year to tie in with the film?
Quite possibly. I've seen a lot of the Wolfman, and I've watched the evolution of the film. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm thrilled about it because I'm a classic horror nut. I grew up with these movies. This is why I do what I do, and I'm really happy that they stayed with a true gothic horror movie, and to have Rick Baker do the makeup, who's here tonight getting an award. You know, that's the man for the job. Rick is the master of modern horror makeup.
So for 2 years you had Jason, Leatherface, Freddy. How do you gauge when it's time to move on to a new franchise?
I think we just decided, it wasn't anything in particular, we just decided ourselves that it was time to do something new because we had brought those characters back, and actually last year, you know, it was even more successful than the year before by far. I think we just felt it was time for our fans to change it up, and you have to listen to what the fans want, you know, and that's something I have to do. Like I mentioned, classic horror is my passion. That's what I love more than anything else. But I have to look at what my fan base is and look at what they love. So horror movie fans these days, Saw, of course, is a huge franchise, but we also have the classic 1978 Halloween with My Bloody Valentine, which the minute I saw that movie, I said, this is a haunted attraction in the making.
You mean the remake, the 3D one?
Yeah. I mean, I was watching that in the theater going, this is it. We should do this. This is designed to be what we do. And we have a very specific criteria that we kind of filter all horror movie franchises through, and not all horror movie franchises are created equal. Even if I love a horror movie, it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to make a great live haunted attraction. But it has to have a killer or villain that can be replicated with live actors. And it also has to have environments. Like, here's a great example. If Saw stopped at Saw 1, it wouldn't have been a great property for us because it mostly takes place in the bathroom. But because of all these other Saw movies, we get to embrace the entire genre, and that's what makes it a great haunted attraction.
Have you established now a precedent that you've got to do famous franchises for Halloween?
That's my thing, absolutely. When I came back to bring Halloween Horror Nights back to life in 2006, that was my vision for the event. Horror movies are unlike, I think, any other genre of film. The fans of horror movies are more obsessed, more rabid about the films they love. I knew that there was this hunger out there for this type of thing, so that's what I want to do. I want to, bring to life the movies that horror movie fans love, and I want to make them feel like they're living a horror movie.
Any concern about burning your way through these franchises and running out in 3 or 4 years?
I think there is a select number of horror franchises that deserve this treatment, absolutely. And I think there's still a few on my list. There's still a few big ones that I really want to do that hopefully I'll be able to get the rights to. But I think there's nothing wrong with revisiting and refreshing those in the future.
if you bring them back, would it make sense to use them in a different way, maybe as a stage show instead of a maze or something?
I think you have to be careful with that. You know, I remember the first time I went to pitch New Line to get them to give us permission to use those properties. You know, the response I got back was, you know, people have been coming to us for years asking about Freddy musicals or Freddy roller coasters. What's different? And I said, we're the studio that invented horror movies. You know, it's in our blood. We're going to do movie quality experiences, and that's been our goal since 2006, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Well, if you bring back Freddy and Jason, you have to do Freddy versus Jason somewhere on the line, just for me.
Just throw that in, yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.